Hi guys, it's Stacy, the homeschool mom from Homeschool Vibe, and I'm back today. Today is a Sunday vibe, as you saw in the title, but today is an inside vibe because one of my children is not feeling well, and so that means that I stand down for the day. You know, usually on Sundays, Nas, the working man, is at work doing his little job. You see how he's spending some money on fast food, but anyway, that's another story, which I've told a short version of it. But anyway, usually Naima and I, we go out and we run little errands. We might go thrifting. We might hit up Whole Foods, Target, just to do a little here and there shopping, a little window shopping sometimes too. Compare prices, see if there's some things we need. We always need something. So usually we'll do those things on Sunday. Now, Nas will shop with us, but he's a go in, get what you need, and leave type guy. And I get that. But Naima and I, we like to browse around, look around, walk around for a while. So usually on Sundays is the days we do that while he's at work, but not so much today. But how that works out to my advantage is you saw the picture of my desk. If I didn't put it in yet, I'll put it in now. And when I tell you this thing collects stuff all week long, and I don't have much space. This is the corner of the living room. The kitchen is behind me. But for some reason, every time I come in, I just keep dumping here to there. And I clean out. I take a book bag because I have books and this and that everywhere I go. And so, and I'm a person that'll read 2 and 3 books at one time. So it can get a little bit messy over here. And so what that does is today being an inside day and probably for the next couple of days while she recovers, it gives me an opportunity to work on some of the things that may have, got put on the back burner in the course of the week, right? And so one of the most important things besides my role as a homeschool parent is my role as a homeschool advocate. I would like to see so many more people be able to homeschool in a way that's productive for their families. A lot of families would choose to homeschool if they hadn't had the horrible experience that a lot of people had during COVID. I was on the phone with Xfinity. I was having a problem with my internet. And I was talking to a representative and he asked me, well, what kind of business do you do? I said, well, I'm a homeschool advocate. I want to see so many more people homeschool. And this kid was fresh out of high school. He graduated maybe 2021. And he talked about how horrendous it was for him. He said, man, me and my sister can't stand each other. We can't be in the same room for 2 hours. So COVID and homeschool for me was absolutely horrible. And what I said to him is what I'll say to you. When you spend 40 hours a week just at school and work, the family, everybody leaves in the morning. And then you come back. You got travel time, which is about 10 hours a week. So now we're at 50, right? And then homework time, which is generally, it could be from 1 to 2 hours a night. We'll be generous and say 1 hour. That's 55 hours out of the Monday through Friday week. That doesn't count in showering, eating, sleeping, laundry, all the other stuff that happens day to day. Entertainment, maybe we want to go to a movie. Maybe the kids have after school stuff. So when you come home after that, you have a weekend version of yourself, right? You're like, hey, how was your week? Good. How was yours? Good. But in reality, I put on a different hat when I leave the house. When I go into my job, I'm a different person, right? When the kids go into school, they're different people. So when we all come home together, and if they're there for the weekend, sure, we can tolerate one another for the weekend, but can you do it for an extended period of time? Maybe, maybe not, because you haven't had the time to get to know that person, right? So that's what a lot of people experienced during the lockdown, that we don't really interact like this. And now we're stuck in here together for how long? And if we go out, the threat of, right? And it was real. And so I started to write a book to bridge that gap. How did that work for me? How did I, on one day before Christmas break, say, okay, the break is in and we're not going back, until that following 2 weeks later when I was like, no, I mean it. We're not going back. How did we, what was that transition like? For weeks and weeks and weeks, getting to know each other again, understanding And we kind of had a tight-knit relationship a little bit, but again, we still had the same hourly constrictions as everybody else. We were gone, we came home, everything was good or it wasn't good. For my kids, it wasn't good because I was seeing it in their behavior. I was seeing it in their demeanor, right? It was literally physically, they were wearing the trauma that they were experiencing in the schools. And so this book, the introduction and the first couple of chapters will tell parents how to transition this, how to get in touch, how to spend time getting to know each other while evaluating what do they really know, like how much of it is real. Can you read on the grade level you're in? And if not, how do I fix that? Can you really do math in theory, or have you been psyched out to thinking that you can't do math? Right? When it came to my daughter, every teacher was like, oh, we spent an hour with her and she just doesn't get it. I spent 1 week observing. Now, mind you, I don't have 30 kids in a room. That's true. But if you could spend an hour with her every math period and you didn't catch on that she was missing a piece, right? Little things like that. How do you do that as a parent in a realistic way? Give me 1, 2, 3 steps, or let me know what you did and let me modify it in a way that fits my family, right? Somebody can give you a recipe and they'll say, hey, this is my, I don't know, sugar cookie recipe. And you might say, well, shoot, I'm going to add some sprinkles to mine. I'm going to follow the recipe, the basics of it, but I'm going to build up on it in a way that fits for my family. Maybe my family loves sprinkles. Maybe we like white chocolate. Maybe we like cranberries or raspberries, right? Dried raspberries. Don't try the wet ones. I've tried that, the fresh ones. They make a wet cookie. But anyway, and so to give people what they need in that way, that's my goal. So I am working on a book. I say all that to say that these couple of days will give me some more time. I'm on like chapter 3, and it's only going to be maybe 10 chapters. It won't be a super long because it's not it just has to be realistic and practical. That's my thing, practicality. Can you apply it every day? And so that's one of my goals that I'll be working on this week. The other thing I'm going to work on this week is working on getting us back to the library. I enjoy school at the library because there are no distractions. It's the library. Put your phone down and let's get to the work, right? And so when Naima's feeling better, we'll do school at the library. I'm really excited for that. We haven't been reading, well, they haven't, I have. They haven't been having as much as of a reading requirement as we had last year. Last year I did Black literature and an American classic, and they would have to switch off and then write about it because I want them to have really good writing skills, which is something, one of the things Nasir learned during his dual enrollment. He took an English class and it was all about writing papers. So at first, the number one thing we learned through that is your proofread game. If your proofread game is on point, then you're not going to lose so many points, but it's an English class. Grammar is everything, right? That's the number one thing they're looking at. Whereas in his communications class, the professor was like, did you apply the things we talked about in class, right? The grammar was secondary, but in the English class, it's going to be first. And so to teach them that when you go into corporate world, job world, nonprofit world, college, secondary education, wherever you choose to go, the person who's looking at what you wrote may have an eye for that, right? And so by having them read often and read lots of books, it gives them that eye to train to watch to see, did you see something in that book that just didn't make sense? Was it grammatically correct? Because everything that's edited is not necessarily put together well. But also, can you comprehend what the author was trying to say, right? A Black literature book is always going to be a nonfiction for us, right? I want you to hear the real story. We can get fiction on Marvel and wherever else, right? And then when it comes to American literature, American classic literature, these are the things you're going to encounter while you're out in the world. So this week, or as soon as Naima's feeling well, we're going to do school at the library. And we're going to start back with that reading requirement. Like, we need to up our reading game because I'm not raising them for today. I'm raising them for the day they walk on the other side of that door and they face the world. I want to give them as many opportunities, as much information as I can, and let them sort through it. What they need, take the meat, spit out the bones. what you need and store some. You may not need it right now, right? So anyway, today, this is my vibe. This is my Sunday vibe. This is it for me today, and hopefully the next couple of days I'll get things in order. So tell me, how you vibing this week? Leave me a message in the comments.